Islamabad. Let's go back now to Javed Rana for more on the situation. Javed, we've seen the pictures and heard the reports of pitched battles between protesters and the police. Tell us what's the situation on the ground.
Well, there is a pitched battle going on the streets of Islamabad, particularly in garrison city Rawalpindi. Because of the operation that was launched by the government early this morning, as you know, these protesters have been protesting at the main crossing of Islamabad and Rawalpindi since November 6. They've been demanding the resignation of the law minister, or what they call for fiddling with the basic structure of legislation on Islam and declaring a minority Qadiani community as non-Muslim. Since then onwards, since government did not accept their key demand, and now we have seen a large-scale, chaotic scene, not only in Rawalpindi and Islamabad, but there are credible reports suggesting that the protests have spread across the country, particularly in major urban centers. Many major crossings and roads have been blocked, and some of the reports that I have received suggest that the main highways and the motorways, particularly in the eastern belt of Pakistan, have been blocked, and there have been also reports of violent clashes between security forces and the protesters in other parts of Pakistan. And unfortunately, the Media Regulatory Authority has shut down all private news channels. They are dozens in number. So we don't know exactly what is going on in Pakistan at a time when the information has been systematically blocked by the government. This reminds me of a martial law back in November 2007 by General Pervez Musharraf, when all channels were shut down. And similarly, the government feared that there will be more chaos, there would be more riots in the country, and that is why they have shut down the channel. But in this time and age, when the information can be available on social media, I think it is likely to turn out ineffective.
Indeed. Could you give us a fuller understanding of those reasons behind these clashes?
The government, a few weeks back, they had a discrete legislation whereby they changed the law in a manner where the members of the non-Muslim community, Qadiani, which runs into a few 100,000 in Pakistan, they could contest election on the parliamentary constituencies which were specifically reserved for the Muslims in Pakistan. Since Pakistan is a democratic Islamic state, the seats for the minorities are separated from those of Muslims. And these Qadiani communities, they were declared non-Muslim because they did not believe in the in Prophet Muhammad as the last prophet of Islam, and because of which there were a lot of riots in Pakistan decades ago. 25,000 people are believed to have been killed in the past, and the government had to declare them non-Muslim. Now, this community has been very influential. They've been using the influence of Americans and the British, and because of which the ruling party, they tried to discreetly legislate to favor Qadiani community. That did not work. These protests started. The government, in fact, reversed the entire legislation. But now these protesters and the religious parties, in fact, all opposition parties, are insisting on one point, that the law minister should be sacked. That is not happening. Government is not willing to do that. And we have now seen large-scale protest and chaotic scene in Pakistan.
Understand.
And I think these protests can potentially cost the ruling party next general elections, which are around the corner.
Understand. All right. We want to thank you for that update, Javed Rana, reporting on the extraordinary situation developing out of Islamabad.